I will honest intention. Honest intention equals talking about Aurelius Longevity Therapy's 19-page business plan. And I will tell a joke starting this video. Did you hear about the woman who invented the jackhammer? For her time period, it was a groundbreaking achievement. So I do this all for my little family, and I made a Facebook Live post going over this that is a little bit longer, and I sort of view Facebook as basically the United States itself, the executive United Nations nation state, and Google kind of like the United Nations, the team. So, and I view Google as kind of like PG-13, whereas Facebook is more like GPG, because the United States is a more puritanistic society than a lot of the countries in the world in general. So what I talked about on Facebook is, for maybe 50 to 200 different reasons, I will try to print 2 more copies of this in color and use this as the basis of my children's education. So some of you all are wondering, like, great, you're helping Miss Michelle Obama with her Let Girls Learn program, Girls Opportunity Alliance, beautiful, wonderful, wow, like, but really truly thank you. Like, I am beyond honored. Having said that, then the next question you guys are asking me or telling me is, you better darn sure make sure this is exactly what you're teaching your daughters, or none of us believe you on any level. And so, okay, cool, let's do it. So we're going to use orange because it's the only fruit where it's like orange equals orange. Apple does not equal apple. Apple does not, or banana does not equal banana. Pineapple does not equal pineapple, but orange equals orange. And remember, pattern match recognition tends to cause the human mind to pause. So when this intelligent, powerful, beautiful, smart woman, who obviously is Muslim, came up to me and said, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" I said, yes, of course. Like, I would be honored to get a picture with you. So she has about maybe 20 pictures in her phone of us, and I have about maybe 20 pictures of my phone about us. So, and then basically this is when I create a Facebook account for my daughters, Sohi, when she's PG-13. Even though I view Facebook as GPG, I think kids shouldn't be on it before maybe 13 years old. I absolutely positively do not know that for a fact. That's just kind of the way I'm betting at this moment for their mental, emotional health. And anywho, she noticed orange, orange, blue, blue. Her mind pattern matched. It caused her to pause. When you pattern match, it tends to release dopamine and other neurochemicals, which make you feel good, give you confidence, and allow you to follow through on a task that maybe you otherwise wouldn't have tended to follow through on. So she came up and asked me, "Hey, can I get a photo with you? We have common ground." So I'm probably going to link this with this in Top Wiki's business plan. And I figure if I'm wrong, for example, if Sohi and Suhan have an exact copy of this, each of them, and then I have my copy as their teacher, then I can ask them to get out their fruit, put it here, their small orange, and then maybe every 30 minutes they can eat their small orange. That way, if I'm totally wrong, at least they'll be eating fruit for 2 or 3 months, and I feel pretty good about that. And I could go on and on. Like, you all know me. I could give 10 one-hour lectures on hive mechanics, nuclear mechanics, epidemiology, group dynamics, group health, public health, community health, world health, global health, and all of that good stuff. But, on the Facebook post, I basically said, my friends have gotten me to understand that I'm Unitarian. I'm not an atheist. And cool. I like, okay, yeah. Yeah, so I'm Unitarian. Faith in all faiths. I'm not an atheist. I know like 90%, 80-90% of my science friends are, which are a lot of the world's greatest scientists. But apparently I'm a Unitarian. So I just try to think about all of this in the context of one of my main role models, my brother Joe, who's always like, hey man, try your very best to do all the right things for all the right reasons, and simultaneously remember its compliment that different people value different things for different reasons. So basically with that in mind, my older brother Joe's trying to get me to perform at a competitive level that is maybe, great unknown willing, much higher than other competitors who maybe aren't obsessively thinking about different people value different things for different reasons, and oh by the way, simultaneously try to do all the right things for all the right reasons. That's a pretty cool standard. Like, if not for my brother Joe, I wouldn't be operating in a standard of put out, straight up, pure positivity all the time under all circumstances in every scenario, and make sure it's always team, group goals, number one, mission, team, the group as number two, and then as team leader, self last, self third, selfless service to mission and team. Combine that with this. So I'm humbled that my older brother's like, I need you to operate at a level that's better than anybody on planet Earth. And I'm like, dang. So, but obviously I'm very grateful. And it's hard. Always being asked to raise my standards higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. But look, we're trying to cross the multi-billionaire, trillionaire mark. So that's probably necessary to have a developed ethical paradigm like that. I had one point I was trying to make. That way you guys can cyber nudge, you know, cajole and nudge me cyber wise to change the probability of outcomes and things. I had mentioned in a previous post, you may or may not have seen on Facebook, as I know a lot of you reject Facebook, that Microsoft people seem to have told me that this one needs to be not only a representation of space and time, but also exponential decay or exponential growth and probability. It needs to be a 4-part concept versus a 2-part concept like space and time. The movements of large bodies in space, Einstein, quantum mechanics, exponential growth, exponential decay, / probability, that this symbol needs to link those 4 parts to give us a chance in being able to connect quantum mechanics with general relativity, the holy grail. So you see there's some seeds in here, and I can talk to Sohi and Suhan how we split up in an orange. This is the surface of a planetoid or an unfertilized egg, or this quadruple concept as part of a conceptualization of a multifactorial expression that, look, Sohi, some of these seeds are going to die and go back to being ether or the surface of the Earth's crust, dust to dust. And some of these seeds, without going, yeah, I knew I had one more, without maybe teaching them everything about this, some of these seeds are going to go on and continue the expansion of hive orange. And then in other hive dynamics, we have, like Charles Darwin said, well, Sohi and Suhan hopefully are going to create Origin of Species 2.0, basically. Like, Charles Darwin's whole book is totally obsessed with things never at any point ever getting off the surface of the Earth's crust. Basically, his obsession was the Earth is just like in thermodynamics, there's 3 types of systems: an open system, a closed system, and an isolated system. It's like, that's great, but it was created for industrialization, for specific ends, to create mechanizations or mechanized processes that work. So that's all fine, dandy, and fantastic, but hopefully Sohi and Suhan can create, among other things, Origin of Species 2.0. And we'll talk about how when you have a hive that can basically split up the genetic code and then create a more competitive expression, then that can become more robust over time. In theory, it's less likely to contract as a hive, in theory, or at least we can get all on the same page and start talking about the same things. And then, so with the little seeds in the orange, then we can move around, and I can feel good about basically taking my PhD level education, all coursework complete in nuclear science or nuclear mechanics, hive mechanics, group dynamics, epidemiology. I can feel good about giving them an education that's a little bit or a lot more true. Basically, like, take my PhD education, give it to them, and then help them move the ball down the field at a much higher level. That's profoundly more important, dynamic, and helpful to us as a species than origin of species or special or generalized theories of relativity. So that's why I'm going to go with this model. You know, I put in my 300 to 500 hours, and I've heard the 500 to 2,000 specific feedback points on this model as it relates to the 40 or 50 other models we're working with. So I really look forward to you all nudging and cajoling me in cyberspace to move this forward in a continuing positive way that helps out with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, as I view Google as the United Nations, basically, metaphorically, and Facebook as the United States, metaphorically. And that's how I think about that. So, I know, thank you, I'm honored and humbled, and obviously I still can't quite emotionally process how well San-Prater Daughters is working. But that might be a good thing. Love you all, respect you all, have a very, very happy New Year, and if you're watching this after the New Year, I hope you had a happy New Year. Love all, serve all, and all that good stuff.